Good morning, everybody. Welcome. My name is Nico, and we're going to be doing some trading today. We're about almost an hour in, about 45 minutes into the UK session. It's Monday, so markets are a bit choppy, but we're going to head on over to the charts, and we're going to see if we can hook some trades. We are going to be using three strategies, my three core strategies that I use during normal trading. This will be divergence. We're going to look for all four kinds of divergence, the two normal ones or the regular ones and the two hidden ones. Both of those have bullish and bearish signals. We're going to use the ADX to find sharp movements with no strength behind them that are likely to reverse, especially if they take place on a one of our moving averages. And then we're also going to do the RSI bound strategy that I use, and I'm going to be explaining those as we go along. Secondly, just want to, I did upload a video yesterday on OTC trading. About half an hour later, I realized that my microphone was on mute the whole time. So there was, although I did some trading, I wasn't, the explanation of the strategy and what we use was missed. And I really didn't want to take the chance, take the risk of people not really understanding the strategy. It's really important that you understand what you're looking for. So I did take it down. I'll be making making a new video this afternoon, and that will be uploaded as well then today. Yesterday was Sunday, so it takes me a while to make these, and I just simply wasn't in the mood to spend the whole day on video editing. It's weekend. I wanted to, it's still like my break. Okay, so without any further ado, let's head on over to the charts and see what the market is giving us today. Okay, so guys, on my chart, I have three moving averages. It's a 50, a 100, and a 200 moving average. These we're going to use in two ways. We're going to use them to determine the strength of a trend. So let's see if we can find a good example. This is ideal. Let me just take the auto scroll off. So when they're moving like this is ideal movement for us. That shows me it's a strong trend, or a decent trend at least. And it's when the moving averages are split apart like this and moving in one direction. These are the areas where I'm going to be using my RSI strategy. We do need a strong trending market for the RSI strat, and areas like this is not a strong trending market. So here in areas like this, I will not be using the RSI strat, although we will be looking for divergence and DI spikes in those areas as well. So on my charts, I've got those. I've got the ADX, the stochastic, and the RSI. These are all set to default values. I use the stochastic and the RSI to find divergence on the charts. And then also the RSI is used obviously for the RSI bounce strat that we're going to be doing. And then the ADX shows us the strength of a move. Remember, the yellow line is the ADX line, and the red and green lines are the DI lines. The DI lines indicate direction. The ADX does not indicate direction. It only shows us the strength of the current move. So as the ADX is climbing, we can see that the strength is increasing in this move. And when it starts turning down, it does not signal a reverse of the direction. It's only telling us that the move is slowing down a bit. The strength of the move is the strength behind the move is slowing down a bit, and we can expect to see at least some corrections where we might find opportunities for trades. Usually it's in these corrections where we might get a hidden divergence setup, excuse me, and then see a continuation of the direction it was in. So please never ever do we use the ADX to try and find a reversal of a trend or a direction of a move. It's just showing us that the move is weakening a bit. So like I said, usually that will be where we get some corrections. of the corrections in the move, but it does not necessarily mean that price will now turn and move in a different direction. Okay, so here's a great example forming now. We've got ADX slowing down, coming down a bit. So that tells me that price is going to rest in this area a bit, probably. Sometimes it will just simply reverse, okay? But it doesn't happen too often, and it's definitely not something we can use to determine taking trades. Most often it will just be a small correction in the move and then continue in the direction. So if we get some, oftentimes we will get some hidden divergence when there's a correction like this, and that's where we're going to look for entries. But it needs to be valid hidden divergence. This is not at the moment, so it's not something I'm going to consider playing. What would be nice if we do get a very good, very nice DI spike here. So meaning price goes to this area here. The DI spikes, I'd like them to be at least 40. There we go. So we might actually risk a sell here. Because we have the ADX very high, but the DI very high, but the ADX itself is quite low. Yeah, let's see what happens here. Like I said, we use the moving averages for dynamic support and resistance areas, and I really like it when when this happens, especially on a cross. So these moving averages are crossing now. Tells me that there's a very good probability that this trade will be a decent one, which is why I took it. This is well within the parameters of my strategy, so I'm taking them. I don't, how do I put this? When my strategy gives me entries, I take them. It doesn't matter really what I think. I know my strategies work. Overall, they are losing trades. They always will be. We definitely do not win all of them. But we, I, no, we do need to stay within the parameters of our strategy, because there's one of the main important reasons we have to stay in is the answer to one of the questions I get asked a lot is people ask me, how do we keep emotions out of trading? And the answer to that is to have a very clearly defined strategy with a very specific set of rules, and then just to follow that strategy. You need to know it works, so it needs to be a tested strategy, which is a lot of work. You need to test any strategy you find online. Doesn't matter who it's from. You do not just accept that is a working strategy. You need to test it, and also you need to take some time to get to know it, to get comfortable with it. You never just jump into a live account. If somebody tells you a new strategy, you don't just jump into a live account. So you need to test this. Anything that's you're unfamiliar with, you test it first, and then if it's giving you good results, you still need to get really comfortable, get to a point where you understand it, where it becomes like second nature. So it doesn't matter who's telling you, who's giving you the strategy, what your source of information is. You always test it. You never ever just accept that something's working and just jump into live and just go for it. Quite often when people get a new strategy, so they find a new strategy. I've seen people actually come across very decent strategies, and then they even actually in the past my videos where I was explaining some of my strategies, a lot of people simply looked at it, assumed they knew exactly what they understood completely, jumped into a real account and started trading, and they started losing money. And this will almost always happen if you do not understand and take the time to get familiar with the strategy and make sure you understand the parameters and the conditions for entries. So please, on a demo account, always first, if it's new to you, just test it on demo. That's what demo accounts are for. we do have some divergence here. Let's see if this finished forming up. We're still way below the moving averages. This did confirm for us, so I'm going to take a sell. We had price make a new high here. It didn't break through the moving average though, but my oscillator didn't make a new high. Neither did my RSI. So both the stochastic and the RSI gave me a bearish divergence. So that's the reason I took this. So yeah, I get an entry on my strategy. I take it and I just wait. If this trade does lose, I don't get excited. I don't take another trade immediately. I don't double down on a losing trade. I've never understood why people do that. If your entry was wrong and you lost the trade, wait for your next setup. I think it looks like we're going to lose this one. We wait for our next setup. I'm definitely not going to take a sell here immediately because I'm losing this. It might actually work out for me as well. Let's see. 1 second left. No. Break even trade. Okay, so we didn't lose, but we didn't win anything either. But I'm definitely not going to take another trade now because I do not have a valid setup for my within the parameters of my strategies that I use. Okay. So let's see. Let me just switch on auto scroll here again. Okay. Let's see if we can find something more. It's Monday. The markets are usually a bit choppy early morning on a Monday, but we're just going to sit patiently. The one of the main reasons I'm doing these videos is I've had so many people ask me to explain my strategies, and a decent strategy is only half of what you actually need to be profitable in trading consistently. You also need to understand that your strategy will have good days and bad days. Some days we get a lot of entries, some days we don't. So this is also the reason I'm not making any videos at the current time to explain more strategies. I will do this in future. I do have a few other strategies that I use, but these three ones, the ones that I'm using every day with this current series, is my three main strats, and I really want to stick to these so that you guys can see. If you follow these videos every day, you will see that some days we get a lot of entries and we get a lot of good movement. Some days we don't. And the days that we don't get good movement or good entries or a lot of entries, those are the crucial days that we need to be patient, and we need to sit back and not force trades because we are not getting entries. This will happen with any strategy. So a big part of the battle is to just be patient and wait for your strategies to play out. A lot of people think if they haven't taken a trade in 10 minutes or in 5 minutes, they're doing something wrong. You are not doing something wrong. This is exactly what you need to do. If the market is not giving you entries, don't take trades. Don't force trades. That's how you end up in a losing spiral. You're going to start losing a lot of trades because you're forcing them. You're not waiting for the parameters of your strategy to be fulfilled, and then taking trades that you know you should that you know you can take. And then also when you start losing like this, you become overwhelmed with your emotions and you start freaking out because you're losing money, and from there it's just a downward spiral. A lot of people just start taking bigger trades, and they end up blowing accounts, where if they just stuck to their strategy and just took their time, they would have been 100% fine. So yeah, if you do not have the discipline to wait for your strategy to give you decent entries, switch off everything, take a break, go do some shopping, go have some coffee, come back an hour later and see if the market conditions has changed and if your strategy is giving you entries now. So yeah, please be patient, relax. That's the only way you're going to get emotions out of it. And yeah, accept that some days we're not going to have a lot of entries. We're not going to have bunch of good entries every day. We are 15 minutes into this video, and I've already had 2 entries. Usually on 10-second charts, trading on Euro USD on a 10-second chart using these 3 strategies, I usually get about 1 entry every 10 minutes. So it is slowish. It's not that slow. But some days, I think it was on Thursday last week, we had when I did the video, it took over 30 minutes before I got a decent entry. So if you cannot wait that long, if you get if you feel you start to get agitated waiting for entries, rather walk away, go do something else, come back a bit later, than start forcing entries and making mistakes and losing money unnecessarily. Okay, so moving averages are crossing. We've got the DI plus line clearly dominant here, and my ADX is starting to climb. This is telling me that we might see some upward movement. This is not a strong trend though, so even though the formation here is in line with my RSI strategy, this is kind of what we're looking for. Corrections on to or that's either on or very close to the moving average, and then the RSI hitting the middle line and then bouncing. The first parameter of the strat is that it needs to be a strong trending market or asset, and this clearly is sideways movement. So that's the reason I'm not even considering taking the trade when the RSI hit just above the moving average there. Okay, so it does look like we do have a little bit of indecision here at the moment. We're seeing market testing this level here. Let's draw that in. Okay, so we've got the market testing this area a couple of times. We did see some pushes here as well. Let's do a clone of this and put this here. We did see some attempts on this level here that failed. Might actually go through now. But we're gonna have to wait and see. I would like to see this start pushing upwards. Have a nice trend start to develop. A great example of times where I actually get an entry but I don't take them is that if price does come down now, okay, so it spiked, but I'm going to continue using this example either way. So if price did turn down here a little bit, right, we would have seen bearish divergence form right here. Okay, so if it didn't do this push here, there was no divergence. So if it didn't do this push here and it started coming down, we would have had some bearish divergence, but I would not have played that. Reason being, there is a change in direction. The pure definition of a trend is price making higher highs and higher lows in the when it's a bullish trend, and price making lower highs and lower lows if it's a bearish trend. And we are seeing, although I won't consider this a real trend at the moment, we are still seeing at the moment higher highs and higher lows. Okay, so when we have price testing an area like this, keeps on testing and rejecting and keep on testing and rejecting, I do not consider this a trend area at all. So I'm not going to look for areas where, especially because my moving averages is crossing, this could be the beginning of an upwards move. We'll have to wait and see. For all we know, it could just like tank from here. We don't know. We have to wait and see, but I don't want to take trades in this area at the moment, because this could go either way, and I'm not going to risk a trade while it does until it clears this area. I do suspect we're going to see some upwards movement from here, maybe up to we could be, yeah, it's impossible really to say. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But right now, as it stands, I'm not even going to be looking for trades. Remember, it's impossible to predict what the market is going to do. Um, a good strategy will show you something that is happening at the moment, and then you can take action based on something that is happening in the market. Um, that's one of the reasons I like divergence so much. Divergence shows me something that is happening right now in the market, and that's the trades I take. Um, the DI spikes shows me um, sharp, quick, sharp movement with no strength. It's something that is happening now. Um, and then also along with the RSI strategy, it shows me continuation areas in the market. So it's something that is happening in the market right now. If once you can understand that you cannot predict the market, but you it's once you understand it's impossible to predict the market, but it's actually very fairly easy to follow the market. Your trading will change forever. But this seems to be a concept that a lot of people struggle with. A lot of people keep trying to predict the market. A lot of successful traders claim to predict the market, but if you look at their strategies and you start getting into it and dissecting it a bit, you realize that although they might not know it, they are using strategies that's actually not predicting. It's just showing them something that is happening, and it's something they are following. So it's an event they are following in the market. It's not a prediction at all. So it's important to understand the difference between predicting the market and following the market. It really is. Okay, it does look like we're getting some movement upwards now. Um, my 100 moving average is about to cross my my 200 moving average. So once this happens, we can, for the time being, assume that this is an emerging trend, and we can start looking for trades. Once they are once these have crossed and they are not moving towards each other, they're opening up, we can actually start looking for RSI trades as well. At the moment, although the parameters for an RSI trade, middle line bounce trade is, again, while the movement is valid, we are not in a strong trending market, so I'm not going to take this trade. The only trade I would have taken in this area here is if I've got some hidden bullish divergence. We didn't, right? But if we did, I would consider taking a buy because it does look like this is an emerging bullish trend, and that's the only trade at the moment that I would consider taking. Okay, so there's the cross of the 100 and 200. Let's see what happens. I do suspect we're going to see this, or that I do suspect that this is the emerging of a bullish, of a fairly, it will be probably be a fairly decent bullish trend forming here. We just really have to wait and see if this is actually the case. Okay, so far no bullish divergence. So there's no trade there. We didn't have any DI spikes here. What I would have liked is a trade I would have considered if instead of going up here, this thing spiked down to these two moving averages here where they're crossing. If this did happen, we probably would have seen a very decent DI minus spike with a very low ADX, and that would have been a buy for me. But as it stands, no trades. I know it sounds like I'm hammering on one thing, but it's really important to wait for your strategy to give you signals. Whatever strategy it is you're using, you have to be patient and wait for the entries. And it's never the same. You're not going to get the same amount of trades every day within a certain period. If you go and sit down, let's say you're go and sit down from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock in the morning. A random time example, it's not that I think that's a good time to trade or something, I'm just using an example. So if you go and sit down, let's say you have 10 to 12. Today you might get 20 entries in those 2 hours. Tomorrow you might get 3. And that's just the way it goes. You cannot expect to sit down for an hour or two every day and make the same amount of money or get the same amount of trades. This will never happen. It will never, never happen. And a lot of people sit down, they traded 2 hours yesterday, they got 20 entries. Today they get 3 entries, and now they're starting to think there's either I'm doing something wrong. There's a nice DI spike. They start thinking they're either doing something wrong, or their strategy doesn't work anymore. And we're back to what we said earlier. They toss the strategy, or they start to make force trades and make mistakes and start losing trades and end up tossing the strategy anyway because they are losing money on it. Right. Whereas the simple solution would have been to sit, accept that today is not a very good day for your strategy, and just be a bit more patient, and and tomorrow would be fine again. I didn't take this trade, but I'm starting to regret not taking it. Looks like it would have been a good one. So let's see if I took it here 6 candles later, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the next candle after this would have determined if it was a win or not. This is one of the reasons I like pocket option that much. My expiry time is set to 1 minute. So it's always going to be 1 minute from the time I actually enter the trade. I never have a 30-second or 40-second trade, or a 1 minute or 1 minute and 20-second trade or something like that. It's always 1 minute flat from the time I enter. And if you guys have noticed, when I'm taking my trades, the execution is instant. I have instant execution on pocket option, 0 delays. So yeah, that's the reason I am trading with them. Actually, if you guys want to give them a go, I'll leave a link in the description. You can play around on a demo account maybe and see what it feels like, get a feel for the platform. But I'm telling you that if you're trading 10-second charts with 1 minute expiries, you cannot afford 1 or 2 second delays on entries. It makes a massive difference in your win rate. I've taken so many trades in the past where I took a trade, came in at totally the wrong price a second or two later, and I ended up losing what would have been a winning trade. And that really affects your win rate. And especially on options like this, win rate's very important in making money. You cannot run a 50% win rate or even like a 60% win rate. You do need to run around 70 at least to make money. And then from there, it's volume. But you do need a strategy that at least gives you about 70% win rate. Okay, so we got some odd movement here. It's sharp and it's indecisive. You've got no DI spikes. I've got no strong trend here. This could just be a retest of these moving averages, and we're going to see it continue. Could very well just keep on falling for all we know. Just got to wait and see. We're 30 minutes in. We had 2 trades already, and like I said, on average, these 3 strats will give me about an entry every 10 minutes. That's on average, but that's average. So some days gives a bit more, some days a bit less. It's Monday. Monday mornings tend to be choppy, but I still trade. I've seen a lot of people um, say that this day of the week is you should never trade this day of the week, and you should never trade this day of the week. And truth be told, if I took all those comments uh, to mind and actually listened, I would have ended up not being able to trade any day of the week, because there's for every day of the week, people will there's a person that will tell you you can't trade on this day and you can't trade on this day. The only day I do not trade are the days that NFP is released. Oh, mind you, that's actually good. I should say I only trade a very early morning session. I do not trade in the afternoons. So NFP days I don't trade because the market is sketchy. Everybody's anticipating the NFP numbers. It's the biggest data release of the month. Um, and so I kind of use that as an excuse to take a Friday off every month. It's the first Friday of every month you will get the NFP data. So that's the only day I kind of avoid trading. Um, any other day we trade. Brings me back to what I said earlier. Some days are not good, some days are not. So you get people and they've got a strategy, but um, they use it for a week, and then the next Monday, when they try to trade, they're having a bad day. Then they decide you can't trade on Mondays, which is doesn't make sense. Okay, so we've got a DI spike here coming up, but still, I don't like this movement at all at the moment. At all. I wanted to pick a direction now because this is like fairly flat. Right, so we've got this section here. We're back to ranging in this area. These two lines that we drew in quite a while ago. It did dance above here, but also when it broke through, it was up, down, up, down, up, down, and back in. So I don't like this. I would like to see some direction here before I start trading. We did have kind of have valid divergence, valid bearish divergence here. But like I said, the reason I'm not going to take this now, right now. I don't want to risk this. It's too choppy within a very tight spot here. You're definitely gonna have to wait a bit for entries, it seems. That's how it goes. Some days you're gonna get a lot of trades, some days not. I would much rather wait though than start taking foolish trades and start losing money. We'll do, we're 33 minutes in, we'll do another 30 minutes. See if there's maybe another entry or two, but yeah, let's hope it changes. Let's hope it picks a direction. If it just wants to pick a direction, we can anticipate at least some to have some entries. If you did take if we did take the bearish divergence here, we would have had a good trade actually. But again, I'm not liking this. This movement is. I almost want to say it's too structured. It's way too structured. Again, it's forming. It's kind of forming bearish divergence here, but I'm not going to take it. This could pop either way at any second. So I'm just going to wait for it to pick direction before we do something that's a bit foolish and we end up losing money. Although technically, we had 4 trades. I took 2, and 2 I didn't like that much. So we are actually running around 10 a minute. We are averaging still about an entry every 10 minutes. But like I said, two of those I didn't take, and I'm super comfortable not taking them. It's really not something that bothers me. Um, I have zero targets for the day. My target, the only target I have, is to take the trades that the market give me. That's it. I don't have a trade target. I don't have a monetary target because targets end up being chased. Um, I'm sure a lot of you will know that a lot of you that use targets, you would have had, there would be days where you have a good trading session, but you just need that one or two more trades to get to that target, and that's where things start going wrong, and you quite often end up giving back all the profits that you made. I really don't have an idea of I must do this many trades or I must make this much money. I really don't care. The thing that's important to me is to get my win rate, get a decent win rate, and then just wait for the trades that the market is giving me and take those. So I just follow my strategies. Some days I've got more time than others to trade. Um, so yeah, I just spend the time in front of my PC and get my trading done, but no targets at all. It does look like we're moving in a bit of a downwards direction. It's starting to move downwards. Um, definitely not. I would definitely not say this is a downwards trend yet. Um, but overall, it does seem like we're actually starting to head down. But again, you guys will notice we added the DI spike here with the low ADX. But like I said, it's this broke range. So it's not something I consider a trade. It's not something I would like to enter. No divergence anywhere. Low ADX. We're still ranging within this area. And this is actually a very, very tight range. People don't always realize if you're looking at a specific time frame, people forget that the charts scale. So although this looks like some decent movement, this is actually a very tight range. If you look at the prices here where these two lines are, let's switch to a 1 minute just to get an idea that yeah, this is actually a very tight range. I would actually almost say on 5 minutes it should be very small candles. What's happening here? Now this is a very tight range. Very, very tight. So we've got the 5 minutes looking like it's going to change. We're going to head upwards. We have the 1 minute ranging really hard in a tight range. Then we got the 10 seconds still also stuck here. Usually, if I wasn't busy making a video now on this, I would have stopped trading and come back in an hour or two. This is what I would do if I'm not making a video. I do want to make, I'm going to stay here to make the video, because I really do believe it's important that we see how some days our strategy is not working well, or not working well, but isn't giving us a lot of entries, and how some days are really good. This if we don't get a lot of entries now, this would be the second day since last week Monday that we had a slow day. So the other we had 4 decent days last week Monday. It's only Thursday last week that was a bit slow as well. We didn't get a lot of entries. This changed towards the afternoon though. The afternoon wasn't that bad on Thursday, but like I said, go do something else for a bit. The market will change again. The conditions will change for your strategy. Um, just don't risk unnecessary. Don't take risks and risk unnecessary money. Just because you feel that you're doing something wrong because you're not getting entries, or that your strategy is broken. I don't know how that would happen, how a strategy would break though. Um, but people think that the strategy is broken, it's not working anymore, um, because they are having a slow day. And it's the furthest thing from the truth. You just have slow days. It happens. It's kind of the same as with weather. Where I live, we have a lot of, especially during summer, we have a lot of thunderstorms, and we are in a what they call a mist belt. Um, so there's days when the country is experiencing awesome summer days, and then we would be sitting with coverage and uh, light rain for a week or two. But it's the same as with weather. Some days you have sunny days, and some days, well, the weather's crappy. Um, Market changes like that as well, and we can't predict what it's going to be like. Really, we can anticipate the near future, but we can't predict what um, next week would look like. And trading is the same. And yeah, we're just having a cloudy day at the moment. And you never know. Clouds could part and we could get sunshine, or it could stay covered until tonight. We don't know. Um, but yeah, I tend to talk more when the market is slow. See if there's what the other assets are doing. This is trending nicely. I don't really want to jump around between assets. Like I said, I like to stick to one. It looks like it's changing direction as well. What's cable doing? Cable's ranging. How's this doing? Falling. What? Oh, yeah. Let's see what the yen is doing. Maybe we can get a nice entry here. Okay, so it looks like it's an emerging bearish trend. So for now, because my 50 and my 100 is still way above my 200 moving average, I'm not going to take this as a bearish trend. So I'm not going to take the RSI trades at the moment. This is, however, I'm going to sell this because this is bearish divergence, although it didn't quite form yet. I might have been a bit too hasty here. This is bearish divergence. It's valid, and it's just below the moving average, which now serves as a resistance area. So we should see, and as a bonus, we've got the RSI on the middle line. So, but the RSI is not the reason I took this. The reason I took this was that the bearish divergence is forming. Although I was a bit early. This would be the trade here. This is where I was supposed to take this. So it's definitely forming. It's valid. I jumped the gun a bit here, and I might end up paying for it. Probably going to end up paying for it. Oh, I got lucky. I rushed this trade. I did get lucky there. I should have waited for the cross, which was here. This was the area you actually needed to get into the trade there. Right, so if we can stick around. So not this one, not the next one. The candle after that will give us an idea if this trade would have won if we took it at the right place. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next candle will show us if it would have been a win or a loss, and I'm pretty sure it would have been a deep win if I just waited for my stochastic to actually give me the. There we go. Let's see. So, okay. So, I rushed it. I did get lucky there, because it did kind of form, but it wasn't there uh, completely. And then, yeah, but this was a valid trade. If we just waited a little bit for the proper divergence setup, would have been a very deep trade. We didn't have to worry. Okay, we're on 45 minutes. Market is slow. Okay, still not taking the RSI into consideration for trades here because this is not a strong trend at the moment. Right, so I'm not going to be taking sells. Although this is, how can I put this? The setup is kind of what I would trade. But the very first parameter of the strategy is that it needs to be a strong trending market. This is definitely not a strong trending market. So I'm not going to look for trades here. Go back, see what Euro is doing. Still stuck in this. Did attempt a little breakout there, but still stuck in this range. Whoopsie. I have my my mouse. Some of my mouse buttons are assigned backwards and forwards when browsing, and I accidentally pressed one of those now. So yeah, it's stuck in this. Euro is stuck here. This is really not the ideal market conditions to be trading. Okay, so this movie is like 50 minutes long. I think we're going to call it. We did have some decent trades, but it is a slow day. I'm going to take a bit of a break now. I'll check back in an hour or so to see if the market conditions have changed. I have absolutely no problem in walking away. If the market's not good for me, I'll just walk away and, like I said, go do something else. Make some lunch. I could actually, that's probably what I'm going to start doing, prepping lunch now, and I'll come back and see if the market conditions has changed. But as it is at the moment, there's no really, mind you, this is opening up, right? This is becoming a decent trend. We could maybe see some, why is this stuck though? No, it's not stuck. It's just no movement on it. So I hate it when it flatlines like that. Because this will affect your indicators as well. So for the next, this is a 10-second chart. So for the next 3 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, my indicators are technically invalid because we had no movement here. Yeah, no, I think this is where we're going to end today's video. We did have some good trades, some good setups. So yeah, I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. I will also, like I mentioned earlier, I will be posting a video on OTC charts later today. I'm still going to do that because yesterday's was a mess. Well, not a mess, but I mean, I forgot to put the sound on it. There was absolutely zero sound on that whole video, which sucks. But I'll redo that and I'll post it later to this afternoon. You guys can have a look at it. But again, test it first. It's going to be kind of familiar to you probably if you're watching my videos here. It's going to be kind of familiar, but still practice it first. Get the hang of it. Get familiar with the way we do it, and yeah. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day, and remember, guys, trade safe and trade smart. And yeah, see you tomorrow. Cheers.